Hey there, my name is Darina and I've been teaching languages online for a few years now. Everyone thinks that freelancing is super chill. You work from a cafe, give a few lessons a day and have a lot of free time. But what it's really like to be an online freelance language teacher, let me tell you the truth. So I will start by telling you a story of how I started teaching languages actually. It was 10 years ago while I still was at school, and my mom had a beer shop, and some of her clients just told her that his daughter had some problems with English, and my mom told him, "Oh, my daughter speaks English pretty well. She could help your daughter with this problem." And that's how I started helping different kids from my school with their homework and so on. Soon I had a lot of students actually. I didn't know how to teach, I didn't know what to do with them. I just remembered how my teachers used to teach me, and that's what I did. I did the same with these kids. Then I entered the university, and there I continued teaching. First I had to go to the homes of those children I taught, and it was really difficult because I had to go to the university and then visit different places in the city to teach children, but it was a good experience, I would say. I didn't study to be a teacher. I was actually a philologist. I am actually a philologist. This is more about the language and literature. Anyways, we had some subjects at the university where we studied how to teach actually, but it was never enough. I'm studying until today. And then when I was maybe at the second year of university, I found an online school where I had to call people on the phone 15 minutes every day, and we spoke English with them. This was the concept of that school. And after that I tried another online school where I gave actual lessons to the people, and I came to understand during that time that I'm doing great and my students like me, and they told me that they had bad experience before on the same platform with a different teacher. I still have one student since that time with me, and I would say it was a great experience working there, but I wasn't paid enough, to be honest, and that was always my concern, like how can I do what I really like and get paid well? I couldn't understand that. So then after I graduated, I went to China. By the way, I told all this story on my channel already in the video where I'm speaking all the languages that I speak, and I tell my journey, but today we're talking from the perspective of my job. Let's get back to my graduation. I went to China and I lived there for half a year working in the kindergarten and teaching small kids. I wouldn't say it was the best experience in my life, but it was great to have it. And unfortunately, I went to China in 2019 at the end of the year, and in 2020 the pandemic started. So I had to leave. I didn't want to stay there, and it was actually the best decision. And then I came back. After some time I got an actual job in the office, but I did it because my mom wanted me to, and I just did what my mom wanted, and I regret it sometimes. But on the other hand, it was a good experience to understand what I like, what I don't like, what I need, what I don't need. In the end, I got to understand that I prefer working from home, being flexible, having freedom, choosing people I work with, and so on. So since then, I think it was 2022, I'm working online and I have my own students. In 2023, I moved to Argentina and I'm living here for almost 3 years now. I really like that I can do my job from any place in the world. So I would say that's the reason why I'm choosing freelance, and I think I will never change it to anything else because I actually don't like working in an office. It makes me feel like I'm imprisoned there. And at home, yeah, I have to stay at home when I work. I can't go out much. But still, I prefer this to not being able to do what you want throughout the day. So in this part, I'm going to talk about my typical day. Let's imagine it's a Monday, for example. So I usually wake up at 9:30 when I'm lazy, because my first lesson begins at 10. I have a coffee, or sometimes I don't even have time to have a coffee, and I wash my face. Sometimes I even don't dress. I stay in my pajamas, and I start my lesson at 10. And I usually have lessons one after the other, because most part of my students are in Russia or that part of the world, and we have 6 hours difference. So I have to start in the morning because it's the evening for my students in Israel or Belarus or Russia. I usually have between 2 and 4 lessons during that time. So yes, in most days I work from 10 to 2 without a stop, without a break. Sometimes during some lessons I can have breakfast, because some students don't mind me eating for a short period of the lesson. Sometimes I don't have breakfast actually, but I always have coffee during the first lesson. My boyfriend makes me a cup of coffee if I don't have time to have breakfast. And then I can have a break. Sometimes that's it for the day. I had 4 lessons and I'm free. I'm also studying here in Argentina. I'm studying photography, so some days I have on Mondays actually, I have an online class after my morning lesson session. Some days I also have a lesson with my friend in the USA, and we usually start at 4. The lesson should be 1 hour, but because it's my friend, we can talk for a long time and discuss different things, but still in the language that he is studying, Spanish. Some days I also have a lesson in the evening at around 7:30 or 8, a 1 hour Italian lesson with a student in Los Angeles too. And that's it. But also a lot of my time devoted to planning lessons. I use the platform called Miro with most part of my students, but with some of them I don't. I just show my screen and we play games and watch videos and read the student's book on my screen. So I devote some time to planning lessons actually, to creating some. For example, one of my students, she watches Emily in Paris with me, and we're already watching the 4th season. We've watched everything. And I created a lot of workbooks to practice through watching this series. If you're interested, tell me in the comments, I can share. Usually I plan lessons for Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday at the weekend. I try to. And then on Wednesday, I plan lessons for Thursday and Friday. So now I have 2 days off, Saturday and Sunday. I don't have any lessons, but sometimes if students really need to reschedule, we can have our lesson on Saturday. But not so long ago, I used to have only 1 day off, Sunday, because some of my students couldn't have lessons any other day other than Saturday. On the days when I have only 4 lessons in the morning and then I'm free, I can do whatever I like. If the lessons are prepared for the next day, then I do nothing in between. Then I can just rest, watch some YouTube, maybe read and watch series or film videos for my YouTube. A bit of change of scenery. I hope you like this spot. This part is going to be about the best things about freelance teaching. The best part for me is definitely the people. My students and sometimes my colleagues, also other online teachers. I've already taught so many students from different countries all over the world, and it's amazing how much you actually learn from them too, because you get to talk with them about food, about transport system, about the culture, and it's amazing that I'm learning maybe as much as I'm teaching. And of course, my favorite part is freedom, because I can organize my schedule as I want. I can live where wherever I want, and I can actually create lessons the way I want them to be. And that's actually something you can't always do in a traditional job. As you understand, it's not always that easy. Sometimes it's really hard to find new students, especially when you're just starting your teaching journey. Your income can go up and down, and you should be okay with that. You should be prepared for both scenarios. And when you have more income than you expected, just try to save some money because you will need them when your income goes down. You also have to do everything yourself. So you're not only teaching and planning lessons, you also have to do your taxes on your own. You have to plan the payments for your students. You have to do the marketing, looking for the new students. Everything is in your hands. And sometimes on the days when I have 5 or 6 lessons, my brain just stops working in the evening. I can't make myself do anything else. I just get really tired of speaking the whole day. You also it's a good part, but also a difficult one. You have to remember everything about your students because they would appreciate if you remember what they did some time ago and so on. And it all just is stored in your brain. You have to remember everything about them. But it's not such a problem for me to remember different things about my students because I really like them. My students are the best people in the world, and I don't mind remembering their birthdays and so on, or what they did a few weeks ago. But remember that burnout is real. Once you learn how to manage everything, it will get better, believe me. In this part, I want to talk about your growth and how to find students. So as I told you before, in the beginning, I worked with online schools. I still could stay at home, but I had to teach the students the school finds for me. And I had to use the materials this online school has. But sometimes it can be that some of the students from that online school decide to stay with you. As I already told you, one of them is still studying with me for more than 5 years, I guess. We studied English at first, and now she wanted to speak Spanish, so we're studying Spanish now. How do I find students now? Many of my students just stay with me for a really long time. For example, when I lived in Russia, I used to work with a company, an IT company. I was coming to their office, giving classes to the workers. But then I decided to leave, and the company told me that they want me to continue to work with their employees, and I keep teaching them online. So I have 2 groups there now and 1 individual student because everyone left her group. Students come and go there, but I always have people to teach from that company. Also, some of my students, they were at that company at first, but then they quit, and after some time they texted me and told me oh, I remember we had classes with you at that IT company. I would like to continue. Can we? And I was like, yeah, sure. I had 3 people doing that actually. And also, you see, I speak several languages, and some of my students, they just study English with me, and then they're like, oh, you speak French, and I always wanted to study French. Why don't we do that? Or Spanish or Italian, something like that. And also, I remember one of my Reels videos on Instagram got a lot of views. It got more than 300,000 views, and a lot of people texted me about classes. I have only 1 student who is still studying with me up until this day, but I had 20 people maybe texting me about classes. Some of them studied with me for a while, but then they just couldn't continue, and that's fine. And also, the main thing now, I would say, it's the word of mouth, as we call it. People tell their friends about our classes and so on, and they just text me and we study. Also, I used to work with teenagers and children before, but now I wouldn't like to do that. I prefer working with adults. That's what I do now, so I only work with grown-ups. What you can try to do to find students, you can try some online school first and see if you like it, if it suits you, and you don't have to stress out about finding your own students. You could try to post consistently on Instagram, on YouTube, TikTok, why not, whatever you like, and just tell about your language, but don't forget to tell about yourself, about your character, because that's how students choose their teacher now. Also, I would advise you, why not, try to use some tags of the immigrants in different countries, because that's how I found some of my students who live here in Argentina. I posted an ad saying, "Hi, my name is Dorina, I'm a language teacher, and if you want to study this and this, just text me." And I got 3 students, and they are still studying with me. Even if you are not living in that country, you can just post an ad and maybe some people get interested and text you. Always remember, people don't just choose you for your grammar knowledge, they choose you for who you are. So always be yourself, whichever way of promoting your classes you choose. The last scene for my video, and I'm gonna tell you my favorite parts of teaching freelance. You know, the best thing for me is that even on stressful days, I really love what I do. Seeing my students' progress, hearing them speaking confidently for the first time, it's the best feeling in the world. And it actually makes all the effort totally worth it. So if you've ever thought about teaching online or working freelance at any other job, I hope this video helps you see what it's really like. Yeah, freelancing isn't easy, but for me it's absolutely worth it. And if you have any questions about freelancing or teaching online, just leave them in the comments and I'd love to answer them. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one. Bye!